Hello and welcome to the Growing Green podcast. Your host, Jeremiah Jennings, is the owner of Growing Green Landscapes in Birmingham, Alabama, and has a passion for growing the entrepreneurship community for those who are young in business. Being a business owner isn't easy, especially in the early years, and that's why in this show we dive into a wide range of topics covering all the challenges small business owners deal with. Even if your company is generating $1 million or more, the stories from our great guest and Jeremiah's own firsthand experiences will propel your business forward. And now, here's your host, Jeremiah Jennings.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode today here on the Growing Green podcast. This is your host, Jeremiah Jennings, and I'm so excited to be coming to you today with another fresh new episode for your Friday. And I hope you're doing well. This is going to be a super fun show today. Don't know exactly what all we're going to get into, but, that's like a typical show here on the Growing Green podcast. We're just hanging out, having fun, real, raw, relatable, everything in between. We love doing these shows 3 times a week. It means the world to us. It's a lot sometimes getting these things out and trying to pump out the content, make sure everybody is learning and growing along with us. And so that's what we're trying to do here on our shows. Marriage Monday is a show that me and my wife, Savannah, we do together, talking about all things business and marriage. Just got a lot of stuff. We got a lot of stuff that is happening behind the scenes and that we just do inside of marriage, inside the business, that we want to share. And so we got a lot of stuff happening. We got some stuff we'll probably be talking about on this coming Marriage Monday about a new business that we have starting and should be hopefully in production here within the next month or so, which is going to be really fun. Can't wait to see what lies ahead of us there, the challenges that it brings, and all of the stuff that goes into it. So we're excited to see what the future holds. I hope that y'all are doing the same. You're changing your future. You're creating your family tree, your legacy, all of that stuff that you want to have. You have the ability to do it. No one is stopping you except you. You're your biggest competition, and so you just need to make sure that you're being better every single day. That's the philosophy that I've tried to take and try to develop and work on. Is just like, how can every day be better than the previous day? And just little wins, little things throughout the day, really just making time commitments to things, not getting lazy, lackadaisical, but staying up late, putting in the work, putting in the effort, getting things done when they need to be. And it's really been a challenge for me. And so we'll talk real life. So I'm actually just out driving, taking you along with me throughout the day today and what we got going on. Had a side job this morning, and we actually had to finish up a job that we started 2 weeks ago. And so we all saw that on Instagram if you follow along with us there. But we did that job, just a little regrade of the yard and then some fresh sod down in some shady areas that the Bermuda wasn't doing too well. So we went in there with some zoysia, and we did that job. And I don't remember if I've talked about this or not. I don't think I have, but I have to get a 3/4 ton truck like yesterday because I'm pulling a dump trailer now, and that thing has been just a lifesaver. We'll talk about that maybe in a minute, but I have to get one because this job was on a hill. So actually the house sits flat, but you have to go down a pretty steep driveway to get to the house. And so I had to back in that driveway, and I had a dump trailer. So I had a 14-foot dump trailer, which is, I think, 3,000 pounds dry. And then it had 2 pallets of sod, dirt, 2 hand tools, a tiller, all kinds of stuff in there. And so that trailer was every bit of probably 8,000, probably not 8,000, probably like 6,000 to 7,000 pounds on a very, very steep slope. And so I backed in there, and I got myself stuck and really avoided a catastrophe really, really closely. So I was backing in, and my truck is a double cab. It's not a quad cab, so there's just not hardly any weight back there. It's the short bed. There's just no weight in the back. And so I can put the truck in 4-wheel drive and pull up the driveway, no problem at all. Like, that's no questions asked. It pulled it up. It was going to pull it up. But what happened was I was backing down, and as I backed down, the trailer was so heavy, even with trailer brakes. I had the trailer brakes, the max output turned all the way up, the sensitivity turned all the way up, and even with the brakes, it was still pulling me down the driveway. And like I said, this was a steep driveway, and so there was a little curve in it, and on one side was a retaining wall, and the other side was a fence going on the property line, and it was a very, very tight squeeze while I started sliding back. And when you start sliding with the trailer, you're back in, you don't know which direction it's going to go. It's not going to go straight. It's going to start sliding left or right. Well, as soon as I started sliding, I stopped. Like, I wasn't even going to try to go any further. I was trying to get to the bottom of the driveway, but that was not happening. And so I stopped and I tried to just sit there for a second. But what happened was I couldn't go any further, and I'd slid at an angle where I was stuck in between the fence and the retaining wall at a bad angle. And so I couldn't get turned to get out of there. And I couldn't, like I said, the truck could pull it out, but I couldn't back up. I couldn't back up to maneuver myself to get a better angle, because every time I did, I would slide, the truck would turn. I was going to end up either going through the fence or through the retaining wall. And so when I initially backed down the driveway, like I said, I started sliding and literally was inches from the fence. Like no joke, less than 6 inches from the fence. And luckily, and I was by myself, which made it even worse. Like, it just added to the story, you know, it adds some dramatic effect or something. But it was pretty scary, honestly. It was a little scary because I was like, how do I get out of this? I didn't know what I was going to do. I just sat there with my foot I was standing on the brake. I had the emergency brake on, and luckily I had a little, like, half, not a full size umbrella, but like the half size ones, you know. I had one of those in my passenger side, and I just looked over and saw that I was okay. So I took that thing, and this is what you call redneck ingenuity, I guess. I don't know, or just problem solving. And I took that thing, and put that thing in between the brake and the seat. And that is what I had to do. So I had to put that in between the brake and the seat to keep the brake pressed down all the way. I had to hop out. Luckily, I had bricks in the truck with me. I had some pavers that I was going to do, that I'm still waiting to do a job on, that I'd gotten literally the day before. And so I had those pavers in the truck, and I was able to pop those things out. I had to block behind both the truck tires in the back and then all of the trailer tires. And I jammed those blocks up in there so fast. And I had to do that because the truck was going to literally slide down the hill when I put my foot off the brake. Like, it was no stopping if I didn't put blocks there. And so we would have had some major issues. I would have had to be paying to have a fence fixed. I wanted to slide into the fence. The fence wasn't that big of a deal to me, honestly. I have some fence friends. We could have had that thing fixed, no problem. The retaining wall on the other side is what I was scared of, because the way I was sliding, the truck was going to kick into the retaining wall, and the other end was going to go through the fence. And so I did not want to do that. That would have been a big issue. So luckily, was resourceful, problem solved, and came out with that solution, and I was all good. The guy that we were actually doing the job for owns a heat and air company, and he actually had a big 6.6 2500, and so I was able to disconnect my truck and connect his truck, and then we had to finagle the trailer down the driveway some more to get it at a better angle, and then he was able to pull up out of there. And so it was like a 20-minute process trying to back down, pull up, to try to get the angle turned the right way where we could pull up out of there without hitting the retaining wall or hitting the fence. And so, like I said, my truck could have pulled it up, but I was just too heavy for me to back up and try to work the angle some more. So that was a situation where I got called my pants down, and we were able to solve it, though. And that's something that I will say, like, I feel like that situation is the perfect example of why it's so hard to go from solopreneur to true business owner, hiring, delegating, putting guys in the field, because that situation, you have to trust that your guys are trained enough and just have enough common sense and problem-solving ability to handle that situation. And that's a big thing for me. Like, I understand, like, I still struggle with that. I do not believe the guys that I have working right now could have handled that situation and figured it out the way that I did. That's not to say I'm better than them. It's just to say that I've been in enough problems after being in business for 5 years that I know how to problem solve and just quick fix solutions. Now, some would say your rebuttal to that would be, well, how are they ever going to learn if they don't do it? Oh, I want them to do it. I just don't want them to do it to that magnitude. And so when they're out mowing, they're learning. They've gotten the mower stuck. They figured out how to get them out. They've hit things. They know how to change the. They know how to do that stuff. So they're learning and growing along the way. But when you start delegating that stuff, those landscape jobs like that, you have dingos, you have dump trailers, you have all that stuff that are equipment that's on properties. Then you need to really hope that they can, or trust that they can do that stuff effectively and efficiently. And so I would just say, like, try to train your people the best you can. It honestly kind of stinks that there was no one with me to see that and see how I reacted to that. They got there later in the day. I was there by myself to start the morning, and then they were there later in the day. And it's just like, I wish that they were with me so they could have seen how it was handled. And so maybe if it happened to them in the future, they would at least know something about, like, okay, here's how he did it last time. Maybe we can do that. So video, put your systems and processes in order. This was actually a conversation that I was having the other day with a guy, and we were talking about just video everything that you do, and everything that you do that you want your guys to be trained on efficiently and effectively. Take a video of you doing it and put it in a Google Doc, and then when your new hires come on, you just let them go in there and watch it, and that's their training. You shouldn't have to show them. You shouldn't have to go in the field to show them how to change the blades or mix the gas or whatever. Just video yourself. And I'm preaching to the choir. Like, I'm telling myself to do that as well. So I don't want you to think I'm coming down on you. I totally get it. Like, that's hard. That's not easy to do. I say that it's not easy to do. It is easy to do. It's just taking the time to actually video it. And so I just highly suggest that you do that, though, because you will have a much better outcome. Your employees will be much better trained, much better equipped to handle those situations if they get put in them when they have some type of training and structure in place. So long story short, we ended up getting out of that good. They didn't have the solid for me to finish that day. I was a pallet short, so I had to go do that this morning, and everything went well. It didn't back down the driveway this time, and we threw some solid out. We had to fix the drainage issue. That's one thing I will say. We left the product good. The customer was fine with it, but we put in a little drain down the side of the driveway. We were digging in like just straight rock and clay. Like, that's all it was. And I didn't have a trench or anything like that. We were just using a pickaxe. And so it was about a 50-foot segment on its slope. Like, it was pretty tough. But there was probably about a 10-foot section of pipe in there that we could not get, like, physically couldn't get it much lower than it was. And so we ended up the pipe was just a little bit raised. And so the saw was a little bit higher in one place. Saw would have done fine, would have taken and grown fine. But it ended up washing out the dirt from under the edge right there. So where we laid where the sod met the concrete, where it was raised, the rain will wash the dirt out because it was a little high. And so we had to fix that, had to go in there and hand dig all that again. And that's where I was going with this, is like, we left them a good product. I'm not saying we didn't leave them a good product, but I knew when I was doing that, I was like, we could probably figure out a way to make this thing in there more, but we're going to do this and hope it works. Well, it didn't, and that come back to bite me. I had to do that again by hand today. So it was an extra 30 minutes of the job that just didn't need to happen if I would have done it right the first time. Do your stuff right the first time, and that's just the best way to avoid callbacks and avoid having to go fix things. We actually got another callback today on a mowing job that the guys did yesterday. They just left a little bit of trash that got hit, and it was little minuscule stuff. Like, it's not massive, but it's just little things like that, and it's teaching me. This is a great process for me to learn and grow in, because I'm like, it's teaching me how to lead, how to train, how to equip guys. And so I hope that y'all are learning and maybe just taking a little bit from what I'm going through and sharing here on the show and implementing that in your business. Like, put some of these things into action, because I know that if I'm going through them, then I'm not the only one. So do those things, get your stuff right the first time, train your guys the right way, and it's really going to help you in the future. Let's talk equipment really fast, because today has been an awesome day. Yesterday and today has been really great. We got 2 sod jobs knocked out that we needed to get knocked out, and it's all to the power of one machine. And so this is something that I've been passionate about, getting a little mini skid steer for the last couple months, but I just haven't been able to, like, justify it or whatever. Well, I tell you what, I've just about justified it in the last 2 days. The jobs that we've done yesterday, I did the majority of the job by myself with a machine, really didn't even break a sweat. And then the guys can help me finish it for about an hour and a half to 2 hours at the end. And then today, did that job, the sod job, totally on my own, because I had the machine. And so the machine just makes, I rented a Toro Dingo TX1000. And so I snagged that thing for a week, because our Home Depot is where we have to rent from. We don't have any good local rental yards. And so we had to go from them. And it is hard to find. They don't keep them in stock very often. They had a bunch of 427s, the little ones. They used to have a bunch of them, but I was talking to them the other day, said that they all gotten stolen in the past couple months. And so, like, they haven't replenished their inventory yet, which sucks, because those were great little machines. And I'm actually looking into buying one of those right now. We're going to see. Hopefully I can get one of those secured here soon. But I really want to get the 1000 though. I don't know if I want to bite off the $40,000 that it is, plus the extra 10 to 15 for the extra buckets and things like that, the attachments. But it just makes life so much easier. I did that job today that would have killed me. It would have taken me twice as long at least if I didn't have that machine today. Like I said, we got the dump trailer, put the sod in the dump trailer, put the machine in the dump trailer, put the tiller in the dump trailer, plenty of room for other stuff. We put about 50 plants in the dump trailer as well with all of that. And so that worked. The dump trailer's just been amazing, but I'll come back to that in a second. Back to the machine. Try to mechanize it as fast as you can, because here's what I think to myself. How many jobs can I do on my own with a machine and not kill myself in half the time, as opposed to going out and hire somebody else to come help me? And I'm not I don't want to be doing jobs in the field for the rest of my life, but I also don't think I'm going to scale the landscape side of the business much more. So like anything that I do, I'm going to take on jobs that I want to do, that I myself want to do. And so I'm really looking at machines as like, hey, this would be a really good investment, because I could spend the $40,000, or I could pay a guy $40,000 for a year, and that machine shows up every day. It will always be there. It doesn't get tired. It never quits working. Or I guess it breaks, but they can be repaired. You can get demos, things like that. But today, like it was just a workhorse. I was able to load all the sod in there into the bucket, ride the dingo down the driveway, throw the sod out. I was able to scrape everything, load it all into the bucket, like hold the dirt, move the dirt, do all the things that I needed to do. And what I would have been doing with a wheelbarrow on a slope with a shovel and a rake, and a tiller, we just didn't have to do that today, which was it's like life-changing. Same thing as yesterday. The amount that we got to do, we had to spread 3 yards of dirt, regrade the side of a driveway, and then sod it. And that was just it was so nice having that machine. So I'm not telling you to go out and go $40,000 in debt to buy a mini skid steer, but I will say, consider renting it. Consider investing the rental price, or whatever you want to call it, into it, and check it out at least, because the 1,000, I had no clue what the ability of this thing was until now. I got it for a week, and so it's $1,000 for a week, but it's that $1,000 is going to make me $5,000 to $7,000, if not more, by the end of it. And so it's yeah, I think that's it's a good investment for me. It's a good expense, or whatever word you want to use, because now I'm just I don't know that I ever want to get rid of it. I might start renting for the month, because like I said, they're hard to come by. And so if I give it up, somebody else might come rent it for a week or a month. So I don't know on that end what's going to happen, but mechanize as soon as you can. Like I said, if you can't afford a $40,000 machine, don't go spend it on a $40,000 machine, but look up a little 427, or look up another mini skid, the smaller versions, and see what you can find. Look on Facebook Marketplace. I know that I'm seeing a bunch of 427s for anywhere between $8,000 and $10,000 with below 300 hours on them. They're pretty decent machines. They were used in rental yards, Home Depot, things like that. But they're in really good shape. They've been kept up. They've been serviced. And so that might be a way to look into it. That might be a good way to get into the mini skid world, at least get you a machine. Now, it's not big. It's not as fast as the 1,000. That 1,000 will move. The ground speed on that thing is pretty good, especially compared to the 427s. But like I said, it still gets the job done. Even if it's the little version, it still gets the job done. It's a great start. And so I would say, highly, highly recommend you to at least look into renting it if you're on the fence about, do I need this? Can I keep hand doing it? Whatever. Save yourself the time and the labor, the headache, the pain, the actual physical pain, and look into at least renting a machine. The dump trailer, we haven't really done an update on the dump trailer. Dump trailer is one of the best, if not the best, purchases I've made in my business to date, because it allows, it takes logistics and throws them out the window 90% of the time. My logistics has just become so much easier, not having to worry about how much stuff can I get. Is the trailer going to be too heavy? Am I going to be spilling stuff over the sides or out the tailgate? All of that stuff is just out the window. The machine rides on there. I can fit the sod on there. I can put almost pretty much as much as I would ever be using as far as weight goes, like sod, rock, mulch, whatever. And that trailer doesn't even feel it, really. It doesn't even squat at all. That thing has been an absolute beast for me. And I didn't even get the highest in one. I didn't get a Big Tex or something like that. I got a Patriot. It seems to be doing the job. I had a good warranty with it. It's going to do the job for me. I can guarantee you that. And so it's been a great purchase so far. It's an investment, totally an investment, because the amount of time that it saves me, yesterday, we had to remove an old, I can't think of what would be in there, but a material bag, a bulk material bag, that the concrete people had left with full of old crappy clay and fill dirt that they had taken out, to pour the driveway. I had to take that, and we had to load all that up and get it off the property. Well, we just take the dingo, the machine, put it in the dump trailer, load it all up, take it home, and then we just dump it all out this morning. Like I dumped it all out. I took a video of it. I might post it on Instagram today, just to see, like, if you don't have one, if you're on the fence about one, rent one. Go to Home Depot, rent one for a day, use it, see if it fits your business. If it does, then great. Look at making the investment. If it doesn't, well, maybe put it off for another year or two. I don't know. But for me, like, it was so far past time to get one. I'm so glad I did. If you're on the fence, this could be your time to just say, yeah, let's do it. Let's get it. Let's move forward. So as far as machines go for me right now, those are my two biggest things that I'm like in the groove with. And I'll tell you what, machines, honestly, I feel like can keep you out of burnout, or at least keep your burnout knocked down to minimal levels. I was getting to a burnout level on landscape jobs, if I'm being totally honest, because I was having to do so much hand labor, so much work, like raking, tilling, things like that, that it was honestly beginning to suck. And I was making good money, but it was not enjoyable at all. And so now with this machine, it's giving me some new life. We're able to knock out the jobs faster. It's just been a fantastic thing so far. I'm loving it. And hopefully we'll see what happens in the future as far as getting one. But that's enough machine talk. I tell you what, I do want to work on right now, and I want to put out there for you to hopefully work on. I think we did a show on this, I don't know, a couple months ago, but really work on perfecting your sales process and your sales system right now. You're going to have to start selling a little bit more, I believe, in the next 6 months to a year. And if you don't, then fantastic. Like, I hope the lead flow keeps coming in for you. But if not, you're going to get caught, like I said earlier, with your pants down. And so you need to know how to develop and close your sales. That's something I'm working on personally because I haven't been good at that. I've just been blessed that the work has come to me. I haven't had to do much selling. And so for me, in the new business we're starting, I'm going to have to really sell, and it's going to really challenge me. And so I'm excited for that. I'm excited to accept that challenge and move on. So hopefully you can be doing that as well. Look up some different resources on selling. I don't know of any good books personally. I would love to hear your feedback. Maybe if you have a good sales book that you would send, that you could give me, then we'll shout it on the next podcast or something. But I would love a good sales book if you have one. That's just something that I believe in. Like, it's so crucial to your business. And I know I just said I'm not good at it. I haven't had to have it up to this point, but I know how important it is. And so especially like moving forward, starting new businesses, if you want to continue your entrepreneurial journey, then you're going to have to learn to sell. And so I would just say, try to perfect that as much as you can right now. Communicate with your customers the best you can. It's getting hot. The rain's coming in. So like, if you're going to be late today, just make sure and tell them. And that goes back to the issue. Like I said, we had that call back because the little trash got left. If I would have done my sales process the right way, not my sales process, but that was like my customer communication. This is a long-term existing client, but I didn't text him the night before, and I know that I don't do that for everybody. But this client has kids. He's got a gated backyard. He's in a nice neighborhood, and they play outside. They use their backyard. Like, that's totally fine. But it's annoying when there's trash everywhere and stuff in the yard, toys in the yard and things. So I'm always supposed to let him know the night before, and he'll always pick it up for me. He'll have that yard clean, ready to go. I didn't do that this time. Our day got shifted around midday, and so the guys had to pick up the trash, or had to move the toys, and then some trash accidentally got hit with the mower or something. And so it's like, that's one thing for me that I took away. Like, my customer communication has to be better on that end. Can't let that happen again. There's just no need for it. It's just lack of irresponsibility. And it's not an excuse, but part of it is just like, I'm so like, quote unquote, overwhelmed right now. I'm not in burnout by any stretch of the imagination. I'm still happy. I'm still loving what we're doing. But we just got a lot on the plate. I overcommitted a little bit. I didn't overcommit. I just gave bad timelines. And so I'm trying to catch up on a lot of these jobs that we should have been done a week or two ago. My vacation last week kind of threw a wrench in things as well, and with weather. So we're just trying to rock and roll the best that we can and the most efficiently that we can. And I hope you are as well. I've learned a lot this season from a lot of you guys on Instagram. It's been a blessing getting to just hang out with you there and just see what everybody's doing. Thanks for tuning into the show. It means the world that y'all have come along with us and stood beside us and helping us grow. We can't wait to see a lot of you in July in Montana for Together in the Trades. That's going to be an amazing event. It's so fun to see events popping up here and there. But that's one that's going to be in our industry for a while. It's very important. It goes hand in hand with our Marriage Mondays. I hope that you all can be there. I think that's really like all the announcements or whatever. That's the life updates. That's what we got going on in the business right now. Not every show, like I said, is super profound or anything. This one's just like a relatable story time. Here's what's going on, and I hope you can relate to it. I don't think we've had anything else crazy go on. Praise the Lord, we haven't had anything break too crazy. I know what we did do. So I took the suspension seat on my John Deere Z930, took that thing totally apart this weekend, like down to the guts, and me and my dad had to fix that. So what happened was it's a suspension seat. The front end was lifting up, and it was no longer suspending. There was no longer air ride, and so, I had to take that whole seat off. We had to extract. What happened was the two bolts on the corners broke off, and they were broken off in there. So we had to extract the old ones out. That's a process. Everybody needs to have a speed out. It's a little speed out pack, I think, or easy out maybe. Sell them at Home Depot, Lowe's, wherever your big box store is. But it's a little drill bit set that one end you drill into the bolt, the other end you reverse. You stick in there and you reverse it out, and that reversing grabs the nut or the bolt, whatever's in there, and it backs it out for you. So we got one of them out, no problem. But one of them, the speed out actually broke in there, and so that turned into a big ordeal. It was very, very hard to get out. Those bolts were in there with Loctite on them, so the Loctite was doing its job. Did not want to let the bolts turn, so that's a good thing to know that it actually works. But the bolts are broken in half. We had to get those out before we could put new ones in. And so luckily, thanks to him helping me, we got that put together. And I was riding on non-air ride seat for like 3 weeks. I highly speak or urge against that. If you're going to spend the money on a mower, invest in a suspension seat. If you're spending that much time on it every single day, 6 to 8 hours sometimes, then your back is going to be shot if you have just like a standard seat. And I know there's cushion in them and things like that, but spend the extra money, get the suspension seat. It's definitely worth it. And so, like I said, I was without it for 3 weeks. So happy to have that thing back in operating order, because that thing was just killing my back. We have some properties that we actually have to do today that are two big farms, and they're very, very hilly. And so it's not fun doing it without suspension. But that's just a first world problem. I know y'all are all having your problems and struggles as well. It's warming up. It's getting hot. I want to hear from you. Everybody shoot me a DM or something. Say, you enjoyed the show, or what we need to fix about the show, maybe some topics you want to hear discussed. I want to hear from our community. I see these people listening. I see you listening every week, but we don't hear from everybody a ton. We have our few people that we talk back and forth with, but that's not to say like you can't talk to us or anything. It's just we got a few people that are pretty active, and we stay in pretty active in the DMs. Shoot me messages on Instagram at Growing Green Landscapes, and we would love to just chat, talk. If you wanted to be on the podcast, then shoot me a DM there. Let me know, and we would be happy to have you on, or kind of just talk about what we'll talk behind the scenes, what kind of situation you got, and if it's a good fit for the show, then we'll make it happen. But I love getting guys on that are early on in business, and a lot of times they're like, oh, I don't have any value to add. I'm only in year one. Those are some of the best shows that we have had, because they're out there hustling, they're grinding, they're giving back what little bit they've learned, and so they're trying to give back to the guys that are even younger than them, which is exactly what I'm doing. I know nothing. I'm just here for the ride. I've just been given a voice, and so we're trying to use that. And I'm trying to get back to the guys that are younger than me and even older than me that are just newer in business. And so we're in year 4 now, or year 5. I can't ever remember if it's year 4 or 5. But we're coming out of that 3 to 5 year stage that's so crucial. I'm 99% sure we're heading into year 5. And so the leads are coming in. Last thing on marketing, I'll talk really quickly. We honestly haven't done a ton of marketing this year. And the reason is because we just haven't needed to. The phone's been ringing. Now, that's something that I know you're probably listening and like, man, why is the phone ringing for him and not for me? That's the situation that I've been in the last 3 years. And so our transition to the city we're in now has been fairly recent. Within the last 3 years, we've moved everything over to this city. And so we have had to build a clientele list. We have to build our name, build our brand, build our reputation in this city. And so the first 2 years were pretty rough. We didn't get a bunch of calls. Everybody was like, man, phone's blowing up. I can't keep up with everything. And it just wasn't that way for me. I was like, man, why is that not for me? Do I need to market more? What is the situation? This year, it's been the opposite. We've had a lot of calls coming in. And I'm a firm believer that it's just that our name, our brand, our reputation has gotten out there. It's a little more trusted. People know who we are. And so they see the box truck out on the road. They see my truck. And that's the reason that I believe we're being successful and having good leads come in. And we're not doing any marketing, crazy marketing, like I said. But that's not to say you don't need to. There's a lot of people who believe you should be marketing like 24/7, like all the time in your business. And I think you should as well if you can handle the workflow. You got to decide though if you're wanting to scale really quickly, if the leads come in, how are you going to handle that? And so there's a whole different podcast we could go down that rabbit trail with. But marketing, just brand and get your name out there in your community. If you're going to run some marketing ads right now, just focus on like the Google ads, getting in there as their new like updated version of all that. Get listed in the map pack, because I don't know if you're me, but when I search for something as a consumer, the first thing that comes up in the map pack is the one that I'm calling. And if they answer the phone, 99% of the time, that's the one I'm using. So answer the phone, try to get up on the top of Google like that. Get your brand out there in the community. Join some networking groups. Those have been huge for me. I'm in 2 networking groups in our city, and I get tons of business from those. They cost me about 3 hours of my month to go to those collectively, and maybe $500 a year. But it is worth every single penny. Like, there's no doubt about it in my mind. We've landed some big stuff off of that. We landed some great contracts, and also just some big residential work. And so I'm a firm believer in networking groups. If you can find a good one near you who actually cares about every member in there, not just like servicing themselves. So if you can find that stuff, I would highly, highly encourage you getting into one of those, because they can be huge for your business, add huge additions in revenue, and also just lead flow and good contacts to have. You can find other business owners that are like-minded, then that's a good way to go about it. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed the show. Not anything super crazy long or anything like that. Just a walk through the day of the life with us. You know, most people do that on YouTube. I don't know. Maybe a podcast is good. We're going to try it out. And so we just wanted to talk to you while you're driving out throughout the day today. And we got a little bit left. We got some plants to go deliver for our job. And then I don't know what else. We'll figure it out along the way. But anyway, I think that's going to wrap this episode up. If you enjoyed the show, leave us a big 5-star rating and review. Those help us boost out there so we can continue to grow the community one relationship at a time, because that's what we're here for. You all know that, and we're excited to do it. So leave us a big 5-star rating and review. Those help us. Come shoot me a DM on Instagram at Growing Green Landscapes. Just come hang out for a little bit. Let's chat, talk about what you got going on, maybe come on the show, do an interview, things like that. If you want to hear more topics or more things discussed, let me know. You can shoot me a DM or an email, and we should be good to connect there and learn. And I hope to give back as much value as I can to you, because it means the world that y'all listen and share the show. So without any further ado, that's going to wrap this episode up, and we look forward to catching up with everybody here on the next one.
Thanks for tuning in to the Growing Green podcast. It is an honor to have you listening, and we hope you receive valuable advice to help take your business to the next level. Don't forget to follow the podcast so you'll be notified when our next episode drops.